The Ellis Murders, a Collins the Vampire Romance by Sue Gore. Dearest Diary, I have found a new place to call home. The Ellis Apartments in Clarkston, Georgia is perfectly adequate for my needs. It's a lower income sort of deal, so people are coming and going all the time. Nobody notices me at all. You know me, I keep mostly to myself, usually only going on my wanderings at night in the dark. Nobody seems to mind my guitar or my whistling. Nobody's complained yet, that is. The apartment itself is barely functional, with an outlet on the wall sprouting wires like a goddamn plant, a broken dishwasher, and the hot water is a murky brown. It's a good thing I'm not too particular, and while I relish in the open spaces of an empty apartment, I should get something for furniture, I suppose. The wooden chair I found by the overflowing dumpster works just fine, if it ain't particularly pretty, and the mug I brought from my last place suits me fine. It says Dad on it, though I've yet to birth any offspring. Optimistic, I guess. But there's always the chance for guests. I do enjoy entertaining, though I haven't had the opportunity in so long. Or rather, I haven't made it any sort of priority in decades. There was a time when hosting was a weekly affair, with romance and friendships to spare. But that's been so long. Another lifetime ago, though I've already lived several, and it seems I'm destined to live many more. I'm lonely. The people here are polite, nod and smile when we walk past, but they do not engage. They have their own lives and do not see me as part, which I suppose is in their best interests. Not that I do anything to hurt them, but I have a hard time not seeing most humans as food, and that just isn't really a balanced way to hold a friendship. It's springtime and I desire romantic companionship. The birds are singing in lush symphonies all day in these pine woods. Critters of all kinds are scampering around, flowers and trees fully bloomed. Bees, the big fat bumbly kind, buzz around on a mission. If only I had a hand to hold, someone to walk with, someone to share the small moments of the day, someone to kill for me. I'm so very hungry. I guess I'll go see if I can find some roadkill or something. Ugh. Collins, dearest diary, the whole point of moving to this apartment was for the sheer density of food. Hundreds of foods all shelved into neat little boxes, statistically likely to die of something at some point. But since moving in, nothing. A healthy populace, it seems. The hunger is dreadful. But I will not bend my ethics to the wills of my particular biology. I'm not a killer, I'm a gentleman. A gentleman does not butcher his own meat. A gentleman has patience, kindness, and understanding that all good things come with time. Someone will slip in the shower, or overdose on their meds, or shoot each other, or something wonderful one of these days. Any day now, I'm sure of it. But in the meantime, I wait, and I dream, and I want. My apartment is on a row of identical townhomes, wedged betwixt Units B and D. Unit C has been home for nearly 4 months now. In Unit B is Priya, a neurovirologist working at some university or something nearby. She's nice, the only person who's spent half a second to talk to me so far. Jose B in Unit D seems nice, but it's been only smiles and head nods from a distance so far. I only call him Jose B because it's spray-painted on the side of his old Toyota sedan. I've never seen Kiani, only heard her through the walls when the two of them get to arguing. They get loud, and I press my ear against the wall and listen as good as I can. My hearing is exceptional, but I find it difficult to understand all the colloquialisms and emotional missiles they hurl at one another. It seems Jose B is sad for reasons that aren't related to his partner, and she seems very loving, but for some reason they keep yelling at each other, and I can't say I understand it at all. People are fascinating, but they confuse the heck out of me. Why do some of them live together and some of them live alone? What good does yelling at a loved one do? Is that something I'll do someday with someone I love? I never have before, I think, but it's been so long since I've had a real reciprocated romance. My mind is foggy. Joss B. and Kiani continue their yelling. Neither seem the violent type. They aren't even slamming things around. Unlikely either will murder one or the other in any sort of crime of passion. Not tonight, at least. They have gone quiet, and it's impossible to hear what they're saying now. I guess this entertainment is over. I should do some drawing, maybe a self-portrait. Collins? Diary. About an hour ago, my next-door neighbors Joss B. and Kiani were brutally murdered. I heard the whole thing. As soon as it began, I rushed to our shared wall and pressed my ear against it. The sounds were muffled but easy to understand. Things bumping around, crashing, Kiani screaming "no" again and again, while Joss B. cursed loudly, yelling for someone to get out. Then the voice, a woman's voice, calm and composed. She sounded pretty. I could almost see her face. "This is the Ellis leasing office coming to tell you that your lease has been terminated. We're sorry to see you go, but wish you the best in all your endeavors." The chainsaw cranked up with a loud, low growl, vibrating the wall my face was pressed to. The screams began and didn't stop for many long minutes. My heart raced as I took short, shallow breaths, trying to picture the scene, imagining the smell of blood and chainsaw fumes, the carnage. The screams turned to gurgles amidst the sound of the engine. Who is this murderer? I had to know. I ran a quick few steps to the front door and pulled it open to find the killer standing there, staring at me as if expecting my arrival. A furry blue cat stared back at me. A mascot costume, spattered in a thick spray of blood, gore dripping from the rusty old chainsaw in its gloved hands. My voice caught in my throat and I didn't know what to say at first. It seemed a long time before I found the words. "Hi," I said. "I'm Collins. I live here." And that's when it happened. The chainsaw cat attacked me with their chainsaw. They revved it loudly and tore it directly into my chest, which shredded my favorite shirt, but did not break my skin. One of the perks of being a vampire is this immortal body I ride around in. Nothing seems to hurt it much. A chainsaw blade running over my chest felt pretty good, like some sort of massage toy you'd see at the mall. Almost sensuous. "Oh yeah," I moaned. "That's nice." The mysterious killer took a step back and cut the chainsaw. I looked at them with curiosity. Who is under that mask? What is their whole thing? I needed to know. My shirt was torn completely to pieces around my right arm, so I just ripped the black fabric right off my muscular torso. I admit that I had hoped to impress my new friend with my physique, but when I looked up, Chainsaw Cat was gone. Swear to God, diary, I'm in love. Collins. Dearest diary, oh what a wonderful way to wake up, well-fed and infatuated. Not that I sleep, of course, but when the sun comes up on a new morning, I like to imagine I'm just waking up and things are new and beginning again. After my encounter with Chainsaw Cat, I immediately entered the domicile of the late Joss B. and Kiani. I will try to detail the scene as well as I can in a drawing, but I'm not sure I can capture the chaos. It was a scene out of a movie. Everything that could be knocked over was bloody handprints and goopy splatters covered the walls and floor. And the food. It was in large chunks everywhere. like a goddamn buffet. My heart pounded in my bare chest, and I gave myself a moment to relish the scene. I wanted to breathe in this gift that my new crush had given to me, to savor every moment of it. I tore into my former neighbors, sucking every drop of red delicious from their dismembered corpses. Afterwards, in a daze of post-dinner satisfaction, I lounged on their deeply stained white leather couch and found a piece of gloopy someone on the armrest. My appetite completely sated, I scooped it with a finger and slurped it up anyways. Delicious. A meal fit for a king. Studying the apartment lazily, I appreciated the decor. Lamps are a fun idea. I don't need them to see in the dark, but I admit they add quite a bit of pleasant atmosphere. So, I took one. A small metal desk lamp, like the one from the Pixar movies. I love those movies. I plugged the lamp into several outlets in my apartment until I found one that worked. Now, it sits in the main living room area on the floor by the window. I look forward to nightfall when I can get the most use out of my new fun human thing. My hunger will return. It usually takes a few days, but it is hard not to immediately wonder when a bounty like last night will happen again. My hope against all hopes is that what I witnessed last night was just the beginning of a massive killing spree. One that baffles the authorities and pundits alike. One that leaves a body count so high it becomes legend. I want that neighborhood pool filled with the blood of the delicious innocent. Once again, my mind goes to the killer, the mysterious sexy chainsaw cat. Who is under that mask? They can't be human. Some sort of demon or ghoul, I'm sure. Demons are so hot. Tonight, I'm going to post up somewhere high up in the trees to do some lookout. Reconnaissance. See if I can't spot my new crush and try to witness their next act of beautiful brutality. Fingers crossed, someone dies tonight. It's not like I'm starving anymore, but by tonight I'll have an appetite again. Oh God, I hope last night wasn't a one-off. Like someone just had a grudge against poor Joss B. and wanted only him dead. That would be terrible. What if I never see Chainsaw Cat again? Don't even think like that, Collins. This is real. This is going to be a total massacre, and it'll be amazing. And next time, try to get those digits. Flirt better, be more charming, and don't look away. This one likes to be coy and disappear on me. I can do this. Collins. Dearest Diary. There was a lot of commotion in the parking lot once the situation was discovered in Apartment D. All sorts of police and ambulances and people from the leasing office in their little golf carts. Humans in uniforms milling about, boring stuff. I spoke with my neighbor on the other side, Priya. She's very nice, but seems overly concerned with the murders in our building. Anxious, even. She says she's thinking of moving, if things like this are going to happen here. As if things like this didn't happen everywhere. Despite my reassurances that death is normal and happens to humans every moment of every day, she still seemed shook. It's hard for me to imagine the point of view of these delicate creatures, scared of near everything. But I try to find empathy and told her that everything will be okay. Because in all honesty, it will be. Whether Priya is murdered or everyone else in the Ellis apartment complex, it really doesn't matter all that much in the long run. Nobody 1,000 years from now will remember all that happens here, and 1,000 years happens in a blink. And I like this human named Priya. She seems genuine and intelligent. She studies brains and viruses, which is fascinating. But when she speaks, I can't help but think about all of her blood coursing through that warm human flesh. It makes my mouth water, and it takes concentration to pay attention to what she's actually saying and respond appropriately. Priya is a very nice human, but humans are ultimately food, and unfortunately not the best company. I bid her a good afternoon and retired to my own apartment to work on a piece I've been learning. It's a song the late Joss B. would often play while sitting in his car outside my kitchen window, blasting from his car's sound system. Mask Off by Future. I got it mostly good now. The notes, echoing off the bare walls of my apartment, are a fitting tribute to the humans whose lifeblood courses through my vampire body now. Warm and comforting. Tonight will be a good night, and it can't come soon enough. Oh, I should play Chainsaw Cat a song. I wonder what they like. Something romantic, obviously. Collins, Dearest Diary. I waited all night up in a goddamn tree and nothing happened. Nothing at all. How dull. Collins, Dearest Diary, I saw her again. It was magical. Let me gather my thoughts. I waited for hours up in the top of another tree until impatience took over and I went roof hopping. Leaping huge distances is invigorating. I should do it more. And it's not only a great way to get a good scope of an area, it's also great exercise. Yes, vampires need to exercise to keep as shredded as I currently am. Diet and exercise. Anyways, I saw Chainsaw Cat on the prowl, walking down a lane with chainsaw in gloved hand, predatory and moving with steady purpose. So hot. I kept my distance at first, wondering where she's going. Chainsaw Cat strode deliberately into an apartment building and kicked in a door before revving the chainsaw loudly and storming in. The inhabitants screamed and some of them ran outside. The noise attracted attention. More people wandered up. Chainsaw Cat appeared on a balcony with a severed head and threw it down at the onlookers. They did more screaming, humans and their screams. Some ran away while others ran into the apartment to help out. I'm not sure why they would run into the building and confront such a creature as this. But some did, and they all got chainsawed. After a short while, the screaming inside abated, and Chainsaw Cat exited the building, swinging a severed arm into the air. It landed with a satisfying thud on a car windshield. A human said something like, "He killed so-and-so, and then kill it." They shouted some more and attacked Chainsaw Cat. I would have intervened if it looked at all in the human's favor, but they were all chainsawed to death with quick efficiency. I wanted her so bad. Dear Lord, it was possibly the sexiest thing I've ever seen, the way she tore her way through the crowd like she'd massacred before. Like they were Thanksgiving turkey, and Chainsaw Cat was carving me the best pieces. She certainly knew her way around a dismemberment. Experience is such a turn-on. When everyone was dead and nobody new ran up to be a hero, Chainsaw Cat cut the chainsaw and surveyed the scene. It was brutal, blood and guts everywhere. A beautiful scene. She walked directly toward and then past me, as if she didn't see me somehow. So I followed quickly behind and said things like, "Hey, hi, remember me from the other night?" I reminded her my name and offered to help carry her chainsaw if she was tired from all the killing. She didn't respond, but in a core way, not rude or anything. I could tell we were hitting it off. So I flirted some more, complimenting her mascot costume, her chainsaw skills, her sheer brutality. Again, no response. She plays it really cool. I like it. I followed her to another apartment where she slaughtered another family of humans. She says more ominous, cool catchphrase type stuff with her weird, spooky voice. Stuff like, "Your lease will not be renewed," and you are in direct violation of the terms of your lease by still being alive. I grabbed a dripping forearm and sipped on it while I followed her as she went from one apartment to the next, like an angel of death, but super sensual and elegant. Like a dancer, but walking in a perfectly straight line. Like how a dancer walks when they're not dancing. The food is delicious and warm and perfectly cut into walkable pieces. I followed her until she suddenly disappeared. I'm not sure how she lost me, but she did. She's very good. I hate to see her go, but I admire her stealth and cunning. Full to the brim with food, I retired to my boudoir, where I now am radiant with love or lust or something I'm not sure. Let me try to capture some of the magic in drawing. Dearest Diary, it is strangely quiet this morning at the Ellis Apartment complex, despite the massacre that took place. The body count must have been close to 20 or so, men, women, and children. All delicious, more or less. I certainly don't fault Chainsaw Cat for the less delicious. Sometimes humans eat too much processed food and they just taste off. The constables or whoever have removed what remained of last night's magical evening. It's nice how they do that without you even needing to ask. Tidiness is certainly a virtue, and I appreciate a city's efforts to clean up after a hearty murder spree. Otherwise, with something like last night, proper cleanup would be outright untenable. My townhome has plenty of storage for what I assume would be towels, but not proper storage to keep bodies. I'd need a cold storage locker or something. Maybe I should get one for us. Maybe something romantic by a lake. Chainsaw Cat and I could live together in love forever. The Ellis staff has begun to pull out the belongings of the late Joss B. and Kiani and pile them up next to the dumpster. I'm not sure what this ritual is about, but it certainly is an eyesore. This mountain of trash bags and haphazardly piled furniture pieces. The humans must like it this way. As they dragged out the stained leather couch out, I watched from the kitchen window and remembered the first time I met Chainsaw Cat. My heart beats fast when she crosses my mind. I feel giddy. I can't believe I got to talk to her last night, accompany her on a hunt. Invigorating doesn't feel adequate a word. I feel enlightened, inspired beyond words. I must see her again. Collins. Dearest Diary, it has been 6 days and it is now as if nothing had ever happened. I had imagined when news spread of such wanton murders, the surviving residents would run away. Move out quick, abandon ship, etc. But as far as I could tell, nobody has done anything as far as moving out. I still see the same people walking around, the same mountain pile of trash by the dumpster, the same weird kids playing outside my porch window. There has been one change. Maintenance crews have been busy cleaning out the vacant apartments, tearing out carpets, replacing appliances, making them look real pretty. Not at all like my place, half broken and ugly as sin. The new renovated places have granite countertops and shiny fridges and freshly painted walls. All the wires are inside the walls and the water runs clear. They're fancy and look more expensive than my place. Time is going interminably slow. The hunger has returned fully, and I am grumpy as all heck. When will my love return so we may continue our courtship? Should I try playing her another song? Maybe flowers? What outfit? I do hope tonight is the night. I grow weary of waiting. Collins. Diary. Priya spoke to me some more today, as she knocked on my door and asked me if I had any plans to vacate after all the murders. I told her no, that I was perfectly happy where I was, thank you. She then told me that she was planning to move. First the rats, now this? Can you believe it? She kept saying. Also that a ton of other people were moving out too. I thanked her for the information and said good day. But something isn't right. She's hiding something or lying. I'm not sure what, but I'm going to break into her apartment later and snoop around. Collins. Diary, oh diary, I am so very disappointed. Breaking into Priya's apartment was a terrible idea. I should have kept to my own business and not ruined the whole thing. Collins. Her apartment was cute, normal, and tidy. Nothing abnormal downstairs. Upstairs was where I found it, just sitting in her walk-in closet, not even trying to hide it or anything. The chainsaw cat costume and the chainsaw itself. Dearest diary. Disappointment blossomed in my chest, filling my lungs and choking my breath. After all these long days of yearning for a lover so clear in my mind, only to have that image shatter. A falsity, a lie. She was Priya the whole time. What a bummer. But maybe she's somehow superpowered or magic or something. How did she keep disappearing on me and killing all those people so easily? A regular human. Or is she? I waited for her to come home, sitting on her couch with the cat head beside me. We stared at each other in silence for many hours, the head and I. Perhaps we still had a future together, if Priya could give me a damn good explanation for what's going on. Maybe she gets possessed by a demon at night or something. I could work with that. But no. She came home after work wearing her regular sweatpants and hoodie, carrying some boxes of takeout human food, and being all pissy about me being in her apartment, as if I was the one in the wrong. She said I had no right to come in and mess with her stuff, that I needed to get out. I told her that she's human, that she's been human this whole time. Admit it, I found myself shouting. Admit you aren't even a demon. Admit you don't have superpowers from beyond the grave. I stopped as I realized I was doing it. I was no better than Yas B and Kiani, yelling at each other, raising my voice to someone I loved. I was behaving like food. Of course I'm human, she said, plopping herself onto a chair at her dining room table. I was just killing everyone to make them move out. She ate the dinner she brought in the little boxes, and I couldn't watch. It's weird to watch humans eat. Grotesque. Priya explained her whole thing, mouth full of what looked like bird pieces and bread. Her family owns the complex and they're trying to sell it, but they need to renovate first and get rid of tenants or something. I definitely started tuning out when I realized the motive was the basest thing of all. Money. Ugh, of all things to kill for. Life is too precious and delicious to waste wantonly like that. It was despicable and ugly. As the undead, I understand the need to feed, the need to kill for ritualistic or sacrificial purposes, or even the thrill of the hunt. Killing should at least be fun. But this human sitting before me had turned killing into business, a job, an unwanted task. How profane. She said, there isn't going to be any return on investment here. Nobody's moving out, nobody's scared. We're so fucked, I'll lose my entire savings. She kept going. Something bankruptcy. Blah, blah, blah. All the while filling her mouth with whatever was in those boxes. My hearing is excellent, and I could hear her mushing her food all around her teeth. That's when I interrupted her steady flow of bullshit to ask, but how? How did you keep disappearing and killing so skillfully? You must have a magic amulet or something. No, she said. I'm just fast. I was on track in college and now I do Zumba. This is the part I'm ashamed of. The part I sincerely wish I didn't have to tell you. But I do because it happened, and that's what our deal is. I tell you, dear diary, all the things that can't be said. I killed Priya. When she said Zumba, my brain flipped to static noise. She may have said more after that, but I couldn't hear it. How dare she be a normal human? I found myself standing over her as she slouched over the dining room table, shoveling bits of stuff into her face. I pulled her to her feet by her hoodie, pulled her head to the side, and sucked the life out of her neck. She thrashed and flailed her arms about for a while, but my grip is iron and my strength near absolute. She tried to scream, but her mouth was too full of dead bird chunks. Her blood was intoxicating. I haven't had fresh live blood like this in hundreds of years. The feeling of actually killing someone while feeding is thrilling, emotional, and beautiful. My anger turned to a warm throb and dissipated completely as I gave in to the primal urge to suck the blood of my victim until she withered up into a dry husk. And I did just that. Sucked and sucked until she was completely dry of red fluid. I woke as if from a deep sleep. A feeling of intense warmth and comfort flooded through me as I found myself on the floor, holding Priya's corpse in my lap. As I looked down at her now pale face, eyes staring and open, realization of what I had done washed over me. My principles, my ethics, my code. Broken. I do not kill. I feed for certain, but Collins the vampire is not a murderer. I carefully placed Priya on the couch and closed her eyes. "I'm sorry," I said, feeling extremely guilty. "This wasn't supposed to happen. Not like this." Collins. Dearest Diary, it is with a heavy heart that I depart from my abode here at the Ellis Apartments and find my way elsewhere. The disappointment is too great and the management too aggressive with their own agendas. With my few belongings packed into my bag, I sling my guitar over my shoulder and toss the broken wooden chair and Pixar lamp back onto the pile of trash spilling out of the dumpster and into the road. As much as I like the lamp, it isn't really mine, or a thing I should own. Lamps are fun, human things, and I am far from human or fun. Children play outside in the grassy area, calling each other crude names and throwing trash everywhere. As I pass the pool area, a maintenance worker skims filth off the top of the dark green water. Trash litters the property as usual. Feral cats wander the bushes and watch me pass. I stop by the leasing office to drop off my letter of intent to vacate. The young woman at the desk looks bored as she takes it. She tells me the manager isn't in right now, but should return tomorrow. I smile, nod, and leave forever. Goodbye, Ellis Apartments. I hope to never see you again. Collins.